All right, guys, starting tomorrow, 5 straight days of college football.
Yes, sir.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we got Florida State LSU, which we're going to live stream right here. I bet that's when we hit 100K, too.
Ooh, you think so? There's 2 games that day, too.
Yeah. We're going to live stream that one, and wait till we tell you the menu that the wives have come together to prepare.
Did you hear about this yesterday?
Dude, are you kidding me?
It made
my whole,
like, peek.
I was already super jacked and tan, obviously, about just the full slate of games we have, not only Saturday, but what we're getting for 5 straight days. And then I get told the menu that's dropping. I love when the wives communicate.
Our wives got together.
And then they come up with just great, and they get excited about it.
They were pumped.
Hashtag Bulk the Boys weekend. It's a hashtag Bulk the Boys weekend. But no, super excited about that. And then Monday, Clemson at Duke.
Yep.
Sneaky game, big one for Mike Elko, big conference game for Cade Klubnik right off the bat. Finally, as the guy, now that DJU is at Oregon State, we have a great show for you today. We have live call-ins, 1-855-236-3228. But let's get to it. Steve Sarkisian fires back at the Big 12 commissioner. Nebraska tight end Arik Gilbert arrested for burglary. And the Patriots released 2 quarterbacks, including Bailey Zapata. I'm Jay Crane, and welcome to Crane & Company. Now, what did Texas expect from the Big 12 and the Big 12 commissioner after they asked for a divorce? Longhorn head coach Steve Sarkisian was asked about new Big 12 commissioner Brett Yormark's comments, telling the Red Raider Club in Lubbock that they need to take care of business when playing Texas this year. Sark responded by talking about sportsmanship and what kind of message that sends to the student athletes in the conference. That's like having the father who just won big money on a scratch-off and left his wife and kids of 20 years for an Instagram model, then lecturing his kids about principles and commitment. So I ask again, what the hell did you guys expect? You almost ruined their whole conference by leaving, and now you want them to throw rose petals at your feet as you walk out the door and leave them? Now, I don't blame Texas or Oklahoma for heading for greener pastures. It was a smart move. But let's live in reality for a second. Brett Yormark is right to hope Texas doesn't leave on a high note. I wouldn't root for him either if I was him, or if I was any Big 12 fan in general that wasn't at Texas or Oklahoma. I mean, you're not even staying around to get the kids through high school. Yormark is the head of the conference, and his job is to take care of the teams that take care of him. And to be honest, I bet he hopes Oklahoma and Texas lose every game they play this year. And if there was a way for them both to lose the Red River Shootout, he would probably want that too. And can you blame him? Now, I have Texas running the table through the conference championship game and Oklahoma going 10-2. So I hope he doesn't get his wish. But at least he is honest about how he feels and isn't bowing to kiss the ring. So get off your high horse, Sark. Stop lecturing people on being loyal. I don't think it's y'all's best move right now in Austin. I'm going to go ahead and bring in my co-host, former Michigan quarterback David Cohn, former Western State, Colorado wide receiver Blaine Crane. Guys, again, no problem with Texas and Oklahoma going to the SEC. I'd have done it too. But like the fact that you're going to sit here and try to lecture Brett Yormark on like what you're teaching the student athletes, like, dude, y'all went to get milk and never came back.
So Sark joked to the reporter first that, you're trying to get me in trouble before he responded, but then he just couldn't help himself.
No,
he couldn't help himself. He said, here's the quote, just so we're all on the same page. I got a letter from the commissioner about sportsmanship the day before that speech, so I'm trying to figure out what exactly we're promoting to our student athletes to say those types of things. I'm guessing that he's not going to have his Thanksgiving dinner with us the night before that game. But look, when you make shirts that say embrace the hate, all the way back in spring, you know what's coming.
Yeah,
I mean, this gauntlet you're about to have to run, forget about playing on the road to Alabama. That's just an extra fight that you're going to have to be involved in. This Big 12 schedule, when you go on the road to 3 different Texas teams, in-state teams who all want to beat you that last year in the conference, you know what embrace the hate means.
Yeah, and look, I mean, you can use it as a chip on the shoulder, as you can see in the picture right now with the shirt that they made. I'm sure they've sold a ton of them. But Blaine, it kind of reminds me when Dave Chappelle did the skit about the player haters ball. If I'm Brett Yormark, I hope all the bad things happen to you and only you.
Drink it out of your mom's dish.
Yeah. Why don't you go home and put some water in Buck Nasty's mama's dish?
Y'all know me. I'm all for violence. And in the words of the great leader Palpatine, let the hate flow through you.
Yeah.
We're not here to talk about sportsmanship, dog. No one cares about sportsmanship. Sark, you got to win. You got to win. And this year's the year, buddy. Your roster's loaded. What a great time to leave a conference that's right before you drop 30 pounds, right? You all know you're breaking up. You know you're breaking up. You're getting the kids through.
He's down 30?
Yeah, no, he's down 30. Your hair's growing.
You didn't even get the kids through high school.
Your hair's growing back. You're getting through middle school. We're talking 8th grade. All right, we're going to get through 8th. We're going to decide high school. Your hair's growing back.
Provia?
You drop 30. You drop 30. You're beefing up a little bit.
You dropped 30, but you're beefing up a little bit?
Yeah, welcome to it. Muscle, not fat. Come on, dog.
Look, you got to
get it right. You got to get it right. You're going to lose weight, but gain what? You're going to gain muscle. That's what Sark's doing right now. A couple OnlyFans chicks hit you up. Lady, you're almost 40. I don't want to hear it. You know what you did. I'm going to go win 11 games. Then I'm going to go to the SEC, who's a lot prettier than you and loves to cook.
Well, but if I'm Sark, though, like, I get it. Like, listen, we have a ton of respect for Brett Yormark and the Big 12, and we're focused on Game 1 against Rice. Here, next question. Let's talk about
That's what I was expecting.
Like he again though.
He couldn't help it.
You went to the casino one night. Whoa, you hit for $500,000 on the slot machine. Security's walking you out to the car. You're on Instagram. Hey, she kind of looks like Selena Gomez. Go home to my wife, right? Your wife, not my wife. Go home to your wife, and you tell her, hey, guess what? I'm leaving. I want a divorce. And I'm going to hang out, on a yacht with Klay Thompson and these Instagram models. Which, guess what? More power to you, dog. But in that same vein, don't then come back to the house the next night and start talking to the kids about honoring your commitments, right? Like, that's what this feels like to me.
No, I just want to make sure Sark didn't go to your house, because that's why I was getting confused.
No, Sark, you can come to my house.
Sark, you come
legitimate question, though. Who would be a worse
Come to my house, you get my wife's name right. You better believe that.
Reed.
Yeah.
Right? Who would be a worse high school teacher, this guy or Kenny Powers?
I don't know.
First of all, me and Kenny Powers in gym class, come on. Come on, we're out here earning scholarships.
Yeah, it's like, I understand why Coach Powers has his physical education class out here. I'm just wondering why Mr. Janowski has the band out here learning how to throw a curveball.
It's like, Kenny, I'm cutting in.
Yeah. We want to know what y'all think. Was Sark out of bounds? Not that Sark was like, hey, guess what? We need to leave. We need to go to the SEC. I'm not saying it was like just Steve Sarkisian's idea, but Texas in general, like, I
don't think it was too big.
I'm not feeling the holier than thou situation. From Brett Yormark, like I said, I want just bad things to happen to you and only you from here on out.
Like,
Buck Nasty's mama's
a little bit though, right?
Not really.
Like,
I wouldn't say. Here's the thing. I wouldn't say anything. Moving on. You know what I'm worried about? Hey, the offensive line's staying healthy.
First off, just congratulations on surviving. You see what's happening out west?
Yeah,
dude. Congratulations on just having a conference.
That's exactly right. It's like the Oregon Trail out there. All right, let's get to the Booster Club.
All right, let's go to Trent Kelly with the $2 donation. Trent, I love coming out and choosing violence. This is what you did. Blaine looks like Pugsley Adams in that shirt.
Wow, he with the Pugsley.
An Adams Family reference?
Wow.
This early in the morning?
Trent.
Hold on, I'm pulling it up now. Pugsley.
Trent,
that's Inspector Gadget.
Trent, these mitts are free, Trent.
He does have the striped shirt.
They put you in the Pugsley.
That's why I put me in the jean jacket today. I was like, dog, I'm not going to Canada every week. All right? We had a hoodie. Good God. Let's go to Tim Salinas. What's up, Timmy?
Pugsley.
They don't got a shirt.
Dog, that is 100% his shirt. That's 100%.
Right,
you look like you're on a work release program.
All right, Trent. I'll remember that, buddy. Let's go to Tim Salinas. What's up, Tim? Your mark is in a position of trust. It's fine if AD says something like that, but not a commissioner, period.
What? Okay, what do you mean? You want to talk about trust? You want to talk about trust? We're in the trust tree? You're leaving. What do you mean? He's not your commissioner for long. Like
Could you understand it a little bit more if this were next season and they were playing at a Big 12 team?
No,
yeah,
you already
sure.
you already signed the divorce papers. Like we're just waiting now on the judge to get it notarized.
You're waiting on Vince Vaughn and
yeah, like trust.
You're waiting on them to split the airline miles up.
So wait, Texas, you're going to talk about trust? You just left out of nowhere. A couple years at SEC Media Days, you're like, hey, by the way, we have an announcement. Yeah, us in Oklahoma are out of here. See ya. Bye. Enjoy it. Enjoy raising them. Like, I don't want to hear anything about trust. Okay, listen, you're leaving. If Brett Yormark, I wouldn't mind if Brett Yormark came out and said, you know what? I hope Texas loses to Rice. I hope they lose to Rice. Why not? You almost ruined the Big 12 conference. You remember when this happened?
I do.
Like this, and now I'm so sad. A position of trust? Texas can't talk about trust. Like, are you kidding me? I mean, and that's fine. It was a smart move by Texas. Right? I don't blame Texas at all. I don't blame Oklahoma at all. But then don't come back to me and start talking about trust, Tim. What? That's incredible.
Let's go to head people, keeper Blaine. Yeah, you keep those people. All right, wait. No, you let them go. All right, let's go to Texas started realignment years ago. Nebraska, Colorado, and A&M and Mizzou left because of Texas.
Yeah, it's, again, though, but I'm not blaming Brett. That's not, you're right. You're right. A lot of stuff goes on behind the scenes with other teams. Some teams go into conferences and other teams say no, and it works vice versa. But this is specifically because Texas is leaving.
There's an argument to be made,
Texas going undefeated.
There's an argument to be made that this started all the way back with the inception of the Longhorn Network. A lot of people make that case because then that kind of threw off media rights deals and all that kind of stuff.
I don't think that's crazy at all.
Go to Tyler Jarvis in the Daily Wire chat. So checking in from Hurricane Laced in Florida, watching CNC while riding out a Cat 3 hurricane. Don't get more American than that. Wow. Morning, everybody.
Yeah, it is. Everybody stay safe down there. And again, be smart, make good decisions. Nothing like a good old hurricane party. And if you're down there, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Cheers to y'all.
Let's go to Mad Veg. He says, sportsmanship only works on the field. Off the field, the war of words can come out. However, you must know it'll fuel an opponent's fire, and there are certain lines to not cross in trash talk.
Yeah, I don't think this crossed the line. I don't think he was like, hey, man, Sark, your wife's ugly. Like, this wasn't like a personal attack on Sark. It was just, he's probably rooting for Texas Tech to beat Texas because Texas Tech's still gonna be living in the house after this year. It's not because one of them's going to college.
All right, let's go to Devil D. What's up, man? He says the Big 12 lost only teams that mattered and followed by adding 8 irrelevant teams.
The Big 12?
The Big 12? The Big 12.
Well, I don't think they added. I think Brett Yormark saved the Big 12. Think about it. It's about brands and markets together.
Yes.
Houston, big brand, big market. Cincinnati, big brand, big market. UCF, big brand, big market. BYU, it's a religion, dog. Big brand, big market.
Utah coming in.
Utah, Arizona State, Colorado.
Big 12 already had a case to be made that they're the strongest conference in basketball. Now you had Arizona too?
Yeah, I think, again, who else is out there? Why do you think we're sitting here in the ACC is like, well, maybe we could get SMU and Cal and Stanford, the Pac-4 out there. They might as well just blend into the Mountain West. What big, outside of Notre Dame, okay, what big brand and big market is out there? It's not, there's not an unlimited supply, right? It's supply and demand. So the Big 12 went and scooped them up, right? So if you're another conference that's trying to add more teams like the ACC, all right, the Big 10 got theirs too. Oregon, Washington, USC, UCLA. You're running out, what is it, Boise State? No offense to Boise State, but they don't have the growth potential that Houston has.
Houston, Cincinnati, and Central Florida are all particularly interesting because not only are those huge markets, but all 3 of those states, Texas, Ohio, and Florida, we talked about the 3 of the best
football
recruiting, high school recruitment. Like now going up to Power 5, you get to go on the recruiting trail. No telling what the ceiling is for those 3 programs.
Without a doubt.
Let's go to Travis Elrod. He says, will there be too many cooks in the kitchen problem at Texas when they get in the SEC?
No, I think going to the SEC is one of the best things to happen to Texas because now you're not Rachel McAdams from Mean Girls walking around the high school. You're not the prettiest one in the bar anymore. I think it may balance them out. I think it may toughen them up a little bit. I think it'll kind of maybe knock Texas, not saying they aren't going to be a huge deal. They're a humongous deal. Look at the NIL situation. I mean, it's Texas. Let's be honest. But you are now, you're a 10 that now walked into a bar that's full of 10s, right? You're that girl that grew up in Minnesota, all right, that's the best looking one, who everybody said, you should go out to Hollywood, just a knockout blonde, right? Solid 9.5, 10 in some books, right? Depending on where you look. And all of a sudden, everybody's like, go out to Hollywood, okay? And you didn't have to do anything but be good looking. Now you go out to Hollywood, guess what? There's a bunch of 9.5s walking around. You better be talented because you're one of many. And you know what? You'll be better for it. So that's what I think will happen with Texas. I think it's good for Texas. I really do believe it's good for Texas. Not a lot of people believe that. I think it'll be better for them because again, it's not like they've been dominating the Big 12 here lately.
No, that's true.
You know, so I think it'll be good for them. I think them being kind of in a crowd of similar, you know, type big dogs with the Georgias and the Bamas and the LSUs, and I think it'll be good for them in the long run.
You think that was Brando's point yesterday? Was there too many cooks in the kitchen? I mean, when you think of Alabama, you think of one guy.
Well,
like Nick Saban. No one with all the money in the world in Alabama is telling us.
Look, yeah. But there's a lot of places where the boosters have their hands all over what's going on at the top, and you've still won. That isn't something that is just only for the University of Texas. Mm-hmm. What I think, and what I agree with Tim is, I think Texas has been soft. That's what I think they have. I think they've been soft. I think they've been pampered. You know, I think they do the hot cold treatment on the back. Hey, you know, let's go get a mani-pedi after practice today. You know, I think this will toughen them up. I think this year's Texas team, I think the difference is they're going to be tough. I think they'll be tougher. That's why I have them doing what I have them doing this year. And that's what happens when you're in the SEC. You either adapt. It's like prison. You either adapt, okay, or you turn into somebody's you-know-what.
You feel the same about Oklahoma?
Yeah, but see, I think Oklahoma has kind of, not that Lincoln Riley's teams were overtly tough on defense, but I think with Brent Venables, it's a really good mix of I think Oklahoma's been tougher than Texas has because they're kind of more rugged than Texas. I think there's a big difference between Norman, Oklahoma and Austin, Texas when it comes down to kind of the way things go down. I think there's a lot more farmers and tough guys on Oklahoma's team than there has been on Texas' team in aggregate. So, all right, one more.
So Texas said, he said Texas boosters are like Jerry Jones. They're rich guys that interfere too much into their football teams.
Yeah, there's a bunch of rich boosters around. The thing is, Texas is top shelf liquor when it comes to boosters with money and that want to have their hands in it. It's one of the reasons why Nick Saban didn't take the job. Remember, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Really appreciate you in the chat, whether it's Daily Wire, whether it's YouTube. We love it. We got some great games. We're going to talk about a ton of spreads, a ton of bets, and we already know week 1, technically it's week 2 in my opinion, but week 1 is upon us. We have a full slate, and our friends over at DraftKings Sportsbooks, speaking about hook 'em, they're hooking you up with a can't-miss offer to start the season strong. New customers can bet just $5 on college football and score $200 in bonus bets instantly. Life's more fun when you're in on the action. All right, and I know you can't bet everywhere, but if you're in a place where it's legal to gamble on sports, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use our code BOOSTER, that's BOOSTER, because new customers can score $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet just $5 on college football. That's only in DraftKings Sportsbook. With our code BOOSTER, BOOSTER, the crown is yours. We're going to drop the link to our merch in the chat. If you are a fan of Crane & Company, one of the best ways to support us is to buy our merch. We have some great new ideas. I want to put out a shirt that says, you know, drink a glass of shut up, like we were talking about yesterday. We want to be able to fill that thing. We're almost sold out of what we have. Go buy the rest of that stuff, and we can fill it with some brand new great ideas that we have just in time for college football season. But speaking of college football season, David, one of our favorite segments.
Oh, it's back.
All right. Last year, you know, we had a segment where David broke down an offensive play from the weekend, kind of brought you inside. We talk about winning the water cooler here. Speaking about some of the merch, go grab you a Win the Water Cooler shirt. And this year, we also have a defensive rebuttal. Surprise, surprise. So here's our Huddle Up segment. Roll that beautiful footage.
All right, Huddle Up. Let's break down Sam Hartman's first touchdown pass for Notre Dame. We got 11 personnel, left up bunch, yellow 5, Python, X kitty. 11 personnel means we have one running back, one tight end. Left up bunch is our formation. Tight end is the Y. He's going to go to the left. The Z and the adjuster both go with him in a bunch set. Up tells the Z get on the ball. Tight end get off the ball. X is going to go opposite, and he needs to make sure he's on the ball. We're under center here, so our halfback is at a traditional 7-yard depth. Let's talk about Python. This is our terminology for short double post. Short double post is a concept we're going to talk about all season long. It's a 10-yard post by our number 2 slot receiver and a 12-yard post by our number 1 receiver on the outside. Usually we get a corner route on the backside, but here we've designated X kitty, and kitty is a 12-yard comeback. Yellow 5, this is our play action pass protection. 7-man full slide with the tight end and the running back staying in to block, and we need all 7 of them because we're getting cover 0 here. Man coverage, no free safety, 7-man pressure. We call it 11-up dog, and Sam Hartman doesn't spend long on the play fake here. Why is that? Because he understands what's most important is for the tailback to go ahead and get in pass protection as quickly as possible and for the quarterback to get his head around, which is exactly what happens here. Slight play fake, gets his head around, hits his slot receiver in stride for a big touchdown, and guess what? Notre Dame ran the exact same concept the next drive down the field. They ran Python with a tight end drag. Sam Hartman hit the outside receiver that time for a big touchdown in the red zone. This is a great man beater, quarters beater. It's great in the red zone. This is 11 personnel, left up bunch, yellow 5, Python, X kitty.
All right, huddle up. I'm glad we spent all that time during spring practice, summer workouts, fall camp, working on our 6-man pressures with cover black, which is what we called cover 0 on the back end, only to have you guys screw it up in the first game and not control what we can control. If you look, we got a game up front. All right, we're manned up pretty much everywhere. We're bringing the will. It's a wham pressure. The nickel, we got Trey Bunch open. Trey Bunch open. It's balls in the middle of the field, which sucks. I'm not going to lie. That's unfortunate. But the nickel cannot get beat where? You can't get beat inside. I would rather you get cooked outside like a Guy Fieri commercial than get beat inside and give Sam Hartman the easy throw. And he goes ahead and aborts the play action pretty much. I'd have done the same thing after he sees that the pressure's not getting there, number 1. And number 2, we're getting beat inside at the nickel spot. That's what had us cooked in the beginning. Second thing, if I am the Mike and I am responsible for the back, if you can see that Jack in the 3-down alignment is responsible for the tight end stays. We're running the game inside. The tight end stays, and what does he do? He goes. All right, Mike, the back on the play action, you saw it was a play action. He stood on the end to help seal the outside. You got to go too. You're floating in no man's land, my friend, but we get beat inside. Now we're in retreat. Sam Hartman does a good job of staying in there and taking the hit when we do finally get there. And understand, when I am out of phase and I get back in phase, the receiver, the tight end, whoever's in the route can fool me with his eyes. You know what he can't fool me with? His hands. His hands go out, my hands go out. We got lucky that Sam Hartman put a little too much air on this ball. It was a great anticipatory throw, but he put too much air on the ball. His hands go out, my hands go out, I deflect this ball, but we screwed it up. And then we screwed it up again on the next drive. And if we're going to do that, then we deserve to lose. So huddle up. We're in big trouble.
I love that segment. That was a lot of fun to make. If this was an actual meeting like we used to have on defense, there would have been a couple more explosions.
Oh, okay.
There.
Yeah.
And there may have got something been thrown.
Yeah, that's the lightest I've ever heard you.
The question becomes, if you're getting cover 0, if Notre Dame's getting cover 0 against Clemson with that front 7, or the Buckeyes with that front 7, is Sam Hartman going to have the same type of success? You know, is that an interception against those type of teams?
Well, you should never see cover 0 from those teams.
Well, it's
Ohio played it against Michigan.
Yeah, I bet they won't do it again. That's why they got 40 dropped on their head.
Here's the thing. I mean, Navy was kind of and Coach Dewberry and them were kind of in a tough spot because they had to manufacture some sort of pressure. They weren't able to get there with 4. He had to make the decision of, do I rush just our base stuff out there and try and get there and let Sam Hartman sit there forever and our guys try and cover them for 7 seconds, which is impossible. I don't care who you have out there. Or do we basically bring the crib, try and force Sam Hartman to maybe make a mistake, and we're still necking in the back end? It took him too long to get there with that pressure. And the thing I was saying was, it's called a green dog. All right, some people call it different things. I call it a green dog, where if we're in 0 or we're in man and I'm a linebacker and the guy I'm responsible for, because sometimes you have what we call, you have peel rules. which means that if there's a blitz, right, and I'm an outside blitzer, and I get that back flares out to my side, I abort my blitz, I peel to the person. We also have what we call a switch call or a split call that some people call it at linebacker, where, all right, backs, on this side, tight ends on this side. If the tight end splits and goes this way and the back goes that way, we'll just switch that off so we don't have to run into each other and pick each other. But you have a green dog where if my guy stays in and I'm responsible for the tight end, that was a 7-man protection like you talked about. Tight end stays in, running back stays in. If my guy stays, who I'm responsible for in coverage, I need to go. Yeah. I insert myself. I add myself to the pressure. I don't float and stay there. You accomplish nothing. You absolutely accomplish nothing. And you saw the Jack, who I was talking about, did that when he saw the tight end. His guy stayed in. The Mike did not. And you see the Mike just sitting there dancing by himself in the middle of the dance floor like Stephen.
It almost looked like he was quarterback spying because he was bouncing and floating.
You're not spying Sam Hartman.
Exactly.
That wasn't part of the play, but I understand Navy, and they did this a lot early, trying to manufacture pressure because they were not going to get there with 4. That's why being able to get there out of your base stuff is the defensive coordinator's best friend, because if I'm having to manufacture pressure, I'm having to force it. Yeah. Like blitzing is like, playing defense is like trying to court women. If I'm forcing it, probably not a good chance it's going to work out for me.
And the low resolution narrative here obviously is, oh, well, that's just against Navy. Of course, you're supposed to throw touchdowns and beat them by a lot of points. Forget about that. What's something we talked about the entire offseason with Sam Hartman? He lined up in shotgun almost exclusively at Wake Forest.
It was an RPO offense.
Running this slow not just RPO, but slow mesh with the running back to see, oh, should I pull it? And that's a completely different style. What you have to love if you're a Notre Dame fan about this play, this is him under center. All right, back at a traditional depth, 7 yards. You got 11 personnel. He's not only is he play faking and hitting a touchdown against a 7-man blitz and stays in there tough, but he does all the right things that you wouldn't expect a quarterback to do under center who's not used to being under there. Abandoning that play fake to not spend long on it because he knows he's getting the pressure. All that kind of stuff. That has to excite you if you're a Notre Dame.
Well, yeah, he didn't fumble a snap. It didn't look like he was having to reach to hand the ball off, which is another thing under center that people don't, give quarterbacks enough credit for. Being able to get to your spot to hand the ball off so the running back can get to his spot, whether he's got to press the inside, whether he's pressing the outside, whatever. But now you see why Sam Hartman made this move to go to an offense like what Notre Dame is running. Because if I'm an NFL scout, after watching that first game, give a gold star next to Sam Hartman.
Put on the fridge.
Because, it helps you out. It's moving up draft boards because that's exactly what you've already proven that you can do it out of shotgun. We've already seen that. You can operate out of shotgun. You can operate in an alternative offense. Now can you do it out of a more traditional? There's a reason they call it a pro-style offense. So good on Sam Hartman. You can tell that they were balanced, they were organized, and that's what we talked about on Monday with Notre Dame. You didn't see a lot of procedural penalties. You're going to have holds sometimes. You're going to have face masks sometimes. You're going to have kind of block in the backs that are close. Those are physical mistakes that happen in the game of football. You didn't see him line up wrong. You didn't see him turn the ball over. You didn't see them make mistakes on special teams. They got their ass on and off the field without a problem, and they were organized and balanced. And that's what wins over time. And I think that was the biggest thing. Yeah, they had better players than Navy. Yeah, we're not sure Notre Dame is a national title contender yet, but they did about as good on the first test as you possibly could, in my opinion. All right, let's go back to the Booster Club.
Let's go to Matty Ice, 1994, also known.
Remember, donations get your question.
Also known as Nighthawk. He says, I know it was just Navy, but I love watching what Sam Hartman did. Looked very crisp in his first game at Notre Dame. Didn't lose a step timing-wise.
Yep.
All right, let's go to Aaron Demers. I remember the days getting pulled around by my face mask by the coach and getting screamed Grizzly Wintergreen in my face.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, bud.
That's exactly right.
Let's go to Springtime 0502 with a $20 dono. Appreciate it, buddy. Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning to you, sir. I recently discovered your podcast and loving it.
Yeah.
But I got a bone to pick.
Here we go.
All right. I'm an Iowa fan.
Okay.
All right. I was disappointed to hear Wisconsin wins the West.
Yeah.
Feels like a safe, I don't want to do my research pick.
Ooh. I got Iowa going 9-3.
I've got an Iowa in which is what more likely today. So who was that asked that?
Springtime.
Yeah.
Springtime. Just get ready for this next
Why don't you work on
buddy.
scoring some points?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Cade McNamara.
Love
great
it.
ad. Defense and special teams will always be good. All right, let's pull up Iowa's schedule real quick.
It's interesting to hear someone say Wisconsin is the easy pick to win the West.
Yeah,
they have a brand new coach coming in
everybody
and a new
else
quarterback coming in. Yeah.
Here's why I like Wisconsin. Number one, you look at the schedule, which Blaine's pulling those up. You've got Tanner Mordecai, who I think is one of the most underrated guys in the transfer portal, one of the biggest hinge players, what we've talked about. I'm sure you know what we're talking about. You've got one of the best running backs in the country. You've got those big white Siberian cave trolls up front that we know Wisconsin typically has. What you've done in the transfer portal at wide receiver, I think they have more playmakers right now on the outside than they've had in a while. You added Phil Longo, who's the quarterback whisperer. Just look at his track record, and is going to mix air raid principles with the old school physical style of offense that the personnel dictates that Wisconsin has and that Luke Fickell wants. And then Luke Fickell's your head coach, and you return a ton on defense. I'm not worried about Wisconsin's defense. So when I look at the schedule mixed with the team balance, I think Cade McNamara is better than Petrus. Hell, me walking down the street with a blindfold on and a cane is better than Spencer Petrus was last year. But you don't have the same weapons you had last year. You're going to have a nice run game. I don't think the offensive line is going to be as quality as it was last year. And I still got y'all going 9-3. So I don't know. Number one, thanks for finding us. We love you. We love Dissent. But it's not because of research. It's because we do our research is why we picked.
You want this sketch?
Yeah. Is this Iowa?
Yes, Iowa right here. Week 1, you have Utah State at home.
Win.
You go to Iowa State week 2.
Win.
You have Western Michigan at home week 3.
Win.
You go to Penn State week 4.
Loss.
Michigan State at home week 5.
Win.
Purdue at home.
Win.
You go to Wisconsin.
Loss.
Minnesota at home.
Win.
Northwestern at home.
Win.
Rutgers at home.
Win.
Illinois at home.
I think I had that as a loss.
All right, then you have the Fighting Arik Gilberts last week.
Yeah.
Nebraska.
That's where I got you 9-3. So you
have them beating Nebraska on the road.
I'm pretty sure I got to get my book back
so we have the same thing. So I have them beating Illinois at home, which will be tough, but losing to Nebraska on the road.
Yeah, so I got you losing at Wisconsin. So you play Wisconsin on the road. You play Penn State on the road. Mm-hmm. I have you losing both of those games. # research. Let's go to Wisconsin's schedule. Let's pull that up.
Bing, 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 bing.
Buffalo home.
Win.
Washington State road.
Win.
Georgia Southern at home. Beat
Win.
Nebraska last year.
Sorry, David.
Hail Southern.
St. Nebraska.
Purdue away.
Win.
Rutgers home.
Win.
Iowa home.
Win.
Illinois road.
Loss.
Buckeyes home. That's right.
Win.
That's right.
I got Wisconsin
you got them beating
Ohio
the Buckeyes.
State.
Indiana road.
Win.
Northwestern home.
Win.
Nebraska home.
Win.
And then they go on the road at Minnesota last game.
Win. That one's going to be a tough one. No, I have them. Nope, that's right. I have them beating Minnesota. That's exactly right. Pretty sure. I need to go back and look at it. I either have them losing to Minnesota or Illinois. Cannot remember which one because we did every single game of every single Power 5 team. So that's why. Schedule dictated, roster dictated. That's what I'm always going to lean on.
All right, let's go to Trent Kelly with the $5 donation. Appreciate it, Trent. Said, how long will it take Texas and Oklahoma to acclimate to the SEC gauntlet day in and day out?
That's going to be the hardest part. That's the thing you don't realize till you're in it, right? They talk about marriage. You don't realize what marriage is until you're in it. That's the common misconception about the SEC is, oh, it's top heavy. Oh, it's just about beating Alabama or Georgia or LSU. No, it's not. That's the problem. I mean, Vandy, who I have going 0-8 in conference this year and feel even better about that after watching their offensive line against Hawaii. Outside of that, every weekend is a dogfight. It's not easy to go to Kentucky. It's not easy to go to Mississippi State. It's not easy to go to any place in the SEC, really outside of Vanderbilt, and Clark Lee's trying to build that up out there. So that's the common misconception about the SEC is that it's top heavy. You want to know what's top heavy to me? When we're talking about conferences, the Big Ten. That's what's top heavy to me, if we're going to be honest. So I think they'll acclimate because they have to acclimate, but until you're in it, you don't understand it. And that's the hardest part.
Let's go to Sean Ketstever with a $10 donation. Appreciate it, Shawnee. Blaine, I didn't know you were a Trojan. How's your weakness doing?
Yeah.
It's doing great, Sean. Appreciate it, man. How do you think the Oregon State versus San Jose State game goes? They play better than USC with their defense. How does DJU play? I think DJU will be mediocre as always. That fits him correct. And I think San Jose State's not a walk in the park. It's really not. I think Oregon State will win the game, but I think it'll be closer.
Yeah.
Than what the experts
It's on the road, too.
That is
San
correct.
Jose State's got a game under the belt. All right, one more.
Cole Frink, $2 donation. LeBron is mid, MJ's a GOAT. And will David Cone ever follow me back on Twitter?
Who said that?
That's Cole Frink.
Cole Frink?
Yeah.
I already follow you, Cole.
Yeah, get right to it. Get right to it. But speaking about following, if you don't want to follow, if you want to be a leader and you have a great product, you need a great company to help sell it. That's why you need Shopify. Hit that little noise, David.
You want the little noise?
Hit it.
Here it is.
When you hear that, you just made another sale, which, surprise, surprise, you're now super rich, Sark. Shopify makes it easy to sell to anyone from anywhere. Imagine all the resources and tools available for a large business available to you right now. I always get asked by people who start a podcast or want to get in the game, hey, it's just a lot on my plate. I want to do merch. I want to do this. I want to do that. Well, I'm telling you right now, Shopify, they're an all-in-one. They make it really, really easy. You can customize your online store to your brand, discover new customers, build relationships that create diehard fans, and Shopify helps you manage inventory, track payments, and view real-time business insights from a single dashboard. It is the best way. You want to work smarter, not harder. That's where Shopify comes in. So sign up for a $1 per month trial at shopify.com/crane. That's CRAIN. It's not spelled like the bird, even though we're super fly. All lowercase. That's shopify.com/crane to start selling online today. Shopify.com/crane. David, hit that button. Surprise, surprise. Rich. Check the security box. So the safety deposit box. There's jewelry in there.
Rich.
All right. Let's get to a little which is more likely.
All right. Before we do that, Nebraska tight end Arik Gilbert was arrested for burglary. Remember, he was at LSU, transferred to Georgia. Was at Georgia, transferred to Nebraska. Now he's been arrested. We have the video here. I want to get your guys' thoughts on this.
Yeah, it's, they've talked about he has mental health problems and he's had those problems. The guy's gotten more chances than anybody. I mean, how stupid are you, dog? Like, how stupid are you? What a waste. What a waste. Sitting in here breaking in. You've got guys that would kill to have half of your ability, to have a chance to play a game that we love, and you're over here doing this stupid stuff, breaking in to a store. What is that, a gun store?
It was a liquor shop. It's a vape liquor store.
Vape liquor store.
Vape cartridges.
Stealing stuff. I mean, just clown. Send this guy to jail, man.
He was the #1 tight end in the 2020 class, right?
Send this guy to jail. They're out there waiting for you. You want to blow this many opportunities? I don't feel sorry for you. Take this guy to jail. What? Just an idiot, man. Just an idiot.
For some vapes.
For some vapes.
To go vape.
Or some vape. You could have just been an NFL backup.
What a waste.
Made a ton of money. Just what a waste.
What a waste.
What a waste. I don't feel sorry for you.
All right, so the which is more likely question, there's some more breaking news here. So Ethan Garbers was announced as the UCLA starter, which is big news out west. So which is more likely, that UCLA plays in the Pac-12 championship game or that Arik Gilbert plays another snap of college football?
I mean, UCLA plays in the championship game. Arik Gilbert's done. Nobody's going to touch him with a 10-foot pole. I don't even know if a junior college would touch him now, which you look at his eligibility. I don't know what that situation is either. But look, UCLA, when you look at schedules in the Pac-12, they don't have the most difficult one. I don't think they're going to be in the Pac-12 championship game, but if we're talking about what is more likely, I think it's more likely that a leprechaun comes in here riding a unicorn, honestly, than Arik Gilbert playing another snap of college football.
All right, here we go. Let's move on to the next one. So Ryan Day, this should be for our boy Springtime in here.
Okay.
Fans, so stick around here. Ryan Day names Kyle McCord, the Buckeyes starting quarterback, over Devin Brown, and also Iowa quarterback Cade McNamara is questionable in the opener versus Utah State due to a leg injury. I think it's soft tissue, something that happened in fall camp. So which is more likely? The Buckeyes make it to the national championship, or Iowa wins the Big Ten West?
Oh, man, this is a good one. God, David. I would say, and look, I've got Ohio State possibly, not possibly. I got them going 9-3. I would say it's more likely that Iowa wins the Big Ten.
I would agree.
Because I look.
Michigan one's so good.
Yeah, Ohio State's replacing both their tackles, their center. I like the McCord kid, but I know they've had to run a great quarterbacks, but there's a ton of unknowns with them. You go to Notre Dame. You go to Wisconsin, you've got Penn State, and you've got at Michigan. I don't think, and I know a lot of people are picking Bama and Ohio State to play in the Natty because stuff's leaking out of fall camp. With Alabama's offensive line, the Ohio State one, I still don't understand. I feel like sometimes, and I get like being the contrarian is fun. I mean, in mine, I got Texas winning the Big 12. I don't know how contrarian that is, but I feel like sometimes people fall in the trap of, oh, well, there's this huge brand that's replacing a lot, chip on the shoulder. Yeah. They're going to be back into it. They did it, 7 years ago. I'm not seeing that. I'm not saying Ohio State's going to be bad. You know, that they're going to beat Indiana. They'll beat Youngstown State. They'll beat Western Kentucky. But at Notre Dame, I mean, that's going to be a tough one. At Wisconsin, that's going to be a tough one. Penn State, that's going to be a tough one. At Michigan, you can do all that other stuff right. And if you lose at Michigan and a Big 12 team runs it and 2 SEC teams get in, you're not getting in.
And you said make it to the Natty, right?
Make it to the national championship.
You have to win the
Iowa
first
win
playoff
the Big
game.
Ten West.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say Iowa. I mean, your biggest roadblock right now is what, Wisconsin?
And who knows? You know, who knows what will happen to the 18 to 22-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, at the end of the day, you look at Iowa. We just talked about Iowa and Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
You're in the Big Ten West, which we know is the weaker, is the left hand. You know, we're talking about dribbling of the Big Ten right now. So, yeah, give me Iowa more likely to win the Big Ten West.
All right, let's go to the NFL. Bills star defensive player Von Miller remains on the PUP list, physically unable to perform, so he'll miss the first 4 games at least. And the Colts have failed to trade Jonathan Taylor, didn't get anything back, any offers back that they thought were reasonable for him. So he also has remained on the PUP list and will miss the first 4 games. So which is more likely? The Bills win the AFC East with the Dolphins and the Patriots and all those teams, or the Colts win 7 games?
Ooh, I need to look at the
Say the Bills.
schedule. Yeah, I would say off the cuff, the Bills. So the Colts got Jaguars at home, at the Texans, at the Ravens, Rams at home, Titans at home, then at the Jags, Browns at home, Saints at home, at Carolina. Man,
There's definitely some winnable games in there.
there's definitely some.
Seven's a lot,
even with
though,
the
bro.
rookie
Seven's
quarterback.
a lot.
Seven's a lot.
Anthony's going to go up
Their
and down.
Vegas line is at 6.5 right now. And keep in mind with the Bills, you got the Jets over there with Aaron Rodgers in the AFC East now, Patriots, Dolphins.
Yeah, but you still have Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs.
I would say right now it's more likely for the. I gotta see. We're gonna get to our NFL picks next week, but I'll say right now it's more likely the Bills win the AFC.
I would agree.
like
And real
that.
quick, if you drafted Jonathan Taylor and Bijan Robinson, ha 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 ha,
What's the
gotcha.
Bijan update?
Running back 3 on the depth chart.
Really?
Really,
Yeah.
Wow.
really.
All right. Next one in the NFL. Patriots have waived quarterbacks Bailey Zappe and Malik Cunningham, leaving Mac Jones as the only quarterback on the roster right now. Remember, they were kind of battling it out in the middle of the year last year. And then the Cardinals, like we talked about yesterday, they've cut Colt McCoy, and they leave Kyler Murray on the physically unable to perform list. So either Josh Dobbs or Clayton Tune will start at least at the beginning of the season. So which is more likely? The Patriots win at least 8 games, or the Cardinals are the worst team in football?
I think the Cardinals are the worst team in football. I think they got one of the worst rosters. Them and the Panthers. It's going to be a fight for terribleness. I will say though, does Colt McCoy go to the Patriots? I'm looking at the math, the way that works out. Obviously, you have to have another.
Every rep of his in the preseason, and they said he can't hardly throw it now.
Yeah,
Just
that's
older.
tough, man. I feel like that. I mean, obviously the Pats are going to add guys. I just look at the Cardinals roster, man. There's just
Not great.
there.
Not good.
Just not a lot there. I'd say the Cardinals are the worst team.
I would agree.
Yeah, you go take that one too?
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Major League Baseball. We talked yesterday about the streak that the Mariners have been on. They did lose to the A's yesterday, though. There's a 3-way tie in the AL West, boys. Rangers, Astros, Mariners. Meanwhile, in the National League, the Braves remain the best team in baseball record-wise. So which is more likely? The Mariners win that division in the AL West, or the Braves win the National League pennant and go to the World Series?
Oh, Braves.
Braves.
Braves are head and shoulders
God,
above
see, I
everybody.
don't want to. I'd see.
They're
like,
so
I don't want
good.
to jinx them,
They're
David.
the
You
best
see
team.
what he's doing?
They're the
You see
best
what your
team
brothers over
I've
there
seen
doing?
in a
You know what?
long,
This question wasn't for
time,
you.
guys.
This is
It's
not
in the
for you. You're
bag.
excluded.
Okay, what was the first part?
in the
of
bag.
The Mariners win their division, the AL West.
No.
Just as a Braves fan, the Mariners win the AL West.
No, Braves got
For
it in
sure.
the bag. We're
For
talking
sure,
really-
it's going to be a
we're
fight
talking
for the
kimchi.
Braves. It's going to be a fight.
the bag. Not on that
I
playoff.
love that it's coming down to the end between the Rangers, the Mariners, and the Astros here. And really, you know, the Twins have extended their lead over Cleveland, 6 games. You still got the Rays, only 2.5 back behind the Orioles. The Blue Jays are pretty much out of it now. They're 11.5 back. But we got some fights coming down the stretch. You know, looking at the National League, the Cubs still only 4 games back from the Brewers. The Dodgers starting to distance it. Well, have been distancing themselves. Man, I'm looking at a team that not a lot of people are talking about with the roster they have. I mean, the Padres, man.
Yeah, what's going on there?
Dude.
I haven't watched them play in a couple weeks.
It's just, I mean, I know they've had some injuries, man. They just haven't been able to put it together. They haven't been a threat the whole year. I mean, and you look at that lineup, I know Tatis had the suspension and things like that, but it's inexcusable, man.
How about this turnaround the Orioles have made?
Oh, it's incredible.
49.
Adley Rushman's a dog.
The AL East.
Yeah,
Adley's a dog.
Adley's been a dog.
He's a rocket launcher.
State.
It's an absolute rocket launcher.
No, we're heading to the best time in sports.
Mm-hmm.
College football, the NFL, Major League Baseball playoffs. I mean, it's just
cooler weather.
Cooler weather.
Maybe Thanksgiving around the corner.
I mean, Thanksgiving around the corner, which means Christmas is around the block.
Yeah.
Right?
Just don't put your tree up before Thanksgiving.
No, we don't do that. See, and I told Reed, I'm not paying out of the butt again for a real tree.
Oh, you're not on the real tree camp?
No, I'm not paying that amount of money for a real tree.
That's an investment into the family.
It is, but it's an investment every year. Like, again, why don't we just go get a fake tree that I buy one time that we use over, really, that Reed's like, well, I like the smell of it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, guess what? Here's what we'll do. How about you walk outside?
It's Christmas, man.
How about I'll walk you around a Christmas tree lot?
Listen here, Ebenezer.
You can get all this. We'll bring a jar.
Scrooge.
And it's still August.
No. Guess what? We'll bring a mason jar, and I'll let you just swoop across and then put the
college football hasn't kicked off.
All right, how about this? I'll go buy you every candle that smells like Christmas. Every one of them.
Not the same.
It's not the same? I don't want to hear it from you.
Not the same.
You know what I'm talking about.
I'm going to win you over on this one.
No, yeah, okay, well.
In December, when it's cold, you're gonna go get a...
Reed, you make him go get that tree. All right? You do what you have to do, Reed.
Already commented in the chat.
Good.
In the chat.
Good. You make him go get that tree.
Not the same.
Not the same.
We will have a real tree.
Thank you, Reed.
Hold on. Reed, I have one. Hold on.
Yeah, there it is.
Hold on. Here we go.
I love and support you, but you're wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
That is basically what she said.
Like a whipped dog every time I hear that.
PTSD.
All right.
Oh, man.
Well, we're going to get back to the chat. Remember, we have call-ins. Go and start dialing that number, 1-855-236-3228. But it's Wednesday, and speaking about Scrooge,
Ooh.
we got a guy on the show
My
that's
turn to be Ebenezer.
80 years old, trapped in a 35-year-old's body. We got your age right, David. David, tell everybody on Wednesday to get off your lawn. Who's G'ing off your L in front of everybody on a Wednesday morning, a crisp Wednesday morning?
The NCAA, yet again this month, needs to get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn.
LSU defensive lineman Mason Smith is being suspended for the season opener against Florida State because he profited from signing autographs in 2021. That's right, a top player in the country will be withheld from one of the most anticipated college football games this season because of an action he committed 2 years ago that is not only allowed now by the NCAA, but is celebrated. Now, I completely understand the NCAA's efforts to keep money out of recruiting in college sports. It makes sense for parity, and I've said that for years. But what doesn't make sense is barring athletes from monetizing their skill sets and likeness. We have a word for that behavior. It's racketeering. And clearly, I'm not the only one who thinks this because the American legal system, via the O'Bannon case, ruled these actions unconstitutional. Doesn't that then make the enforcement of this suspension unconstitutional? Nope. Is there no statute of limitations? Is there no common sense? LSU quarterback Jaden Daniels will make $500,000 in NIL money this season. And LSU gymnast Livy Dunn will make $3.5 million. But Mason Smith has to sit out? And this isn't just about one player on one team. Michigan coach Jim Harbaugh is being forced to miss the first 3 games of this season for COVID violations. Failure. 20-plus seniors at Arizona State will be banned from postseason play in their final year of football, while people who committed infractions go unpunished. Failure. There is a reckoning coming for an organization that allows men to compete in women's sports, but won't allow men to compete in their own sports. It's a clown operation that needs to get off my lawn.
Dude, bars. Get
them out of here, Dave.
It's the mob.
Get off my lawn.
I told you when I was going off on the Jim Harbaugh thing that it wasn't just about that being the Wolverines.
We should have
around the country.
We should have just a trial where everybody involved in the NCAA gets shamed.
Yeah, I know people who work at the NCAA. They're good people. They're working hard, but it's at the top to me. It's at the top to me.
Are they, though?
I mean, the friends that I know, but
are they though?
From the top down, it's just bad decision after bad decision that doesn't make sense, and it just looks really like you're running a racket.
You are. That's why it doesn't work anymore. You literally are punishing people for signing their own name.
And this is coming from someone
for signing their own. Think about that, David. Think about that. We pay child actors tons of money to get. They make money signing autographs. You mean to tell me that a guy like Mason Smith, even in 2021, retroactively, they should look back and said, you know what we were doing was wrong. Like we were making money off your talent, off your ability. So we're not going to punish you for it. Or you know what? How about this? How about we do something where we, instead of suspending Mason Smith, why don't we do something for charity? Why don't we have a driver something for Children's Hospital or St. Jude's? But no, these criminals, which is what I think they are, I think they're crooks, in my opinion. Now Mason Smith has to pay for signing his own name. It's an absolute joke. These people are an absolute joke. And I've got no respect for any of them. And I think they're the worst of some of the worst people.
Mason, if this ever gets to you, go play.
Well, again, that's what we said.
How are they going to stop you? Let's make this agreement, all right? If someone at the NCAA can block you, all right, then you won't play. Other than that, they can't stop you.
But
go play.
Serious question. If it was ruled unconstitutional in the O'Bannon case in that district court, then isn't this punishment unconstitutional? And this is coming from someone who always has been, look, I'm pro-education. I understand the argument of, hey, if you're coming to college, you're here to get an education. If you're on scholarship, that is what you're being compensated. I've understood trying to keep the money out of the recruiting. But if a math kid at my school can go sign his autograph and make $50, but I play on the football team and I can't do it, now all of a sudden it's starting to get real suspicious, man. And Jim Harbaugh made a good point.
Name another situation in the United States where if somebody came up to you and said, hey, I want your autograph, I'll pay you $100 for it, and you said yes and signed your own name, your God-given name, then you get punished for that.
The mob.
Yeah, the mob.
That's it.
The mob. That's it.
Taking their cut. That's why Jim Harbaugh made a good point this week when he said, whenever the kids call it a game, the corporate types say, no, it's a business. But when the kids say, okay, well, it's a business, I want to get paid, then the corporate types say, well, no, it's a game.
Yeah, that's true. No, there is. And I'll say, when it comes to the players, that there's another side of the business too, right? Like that's why I think in these NIL deals, if I'm one of the people at these universities or one of these businesses that's paying it, I need a clause in that contract that says, if you're going to sign this NIL deal with me, you have to be here for at least 3 years. And if you're not, then you're going to pay back this money, which I think we're heading that way. There's two sides to the business. There's two sides to it.
And unfortunately, because the NCAA really didn't lead on this matter, what it's going to become is the players are all going to say, okay, fine, then we're just going to form a players association. Then you're going to get unionization and they're going to become employees. Like all that stuff is coming, which I think will ruin college sports. Whereas we could have had some leadership from the very beginning. But I think when the NCAA lost that case, that O'Bannon case, a lot of them just said, you know what? Let's just let it all, the transfer portal, wide open, NIL, do whatever you want. Let's just let it hit rock bottom so that the federal government is forced to come in and save us. We were talking about Senator Tupperville with his legislation, and that's just,
Did you see what Calipari said yesterday?
Well, what you were telling me about, what did he say?
Yeah, so Calipari said that, and he's right, with the freedom of the transfer portal, whatever, now you got guys that are staying in college for 7 years. He's like, you got 25-years playing against 18-years. He's like, what we need to do is you have one free transfer, all right? But you only get to play 4 years in college. You get to play like it used to be. Like you don't get this 6th year, this 9th year.
That may end now that COVID's coming.
Yeah. But my question, my only problem with that is, I feel like, yes, that should be the main rule, but there should be caveats. Like if I transfer somewhere, my freshman going into my sophomore year, like Deion Sanders comes in and says, you need to transfer if you want to be able to play. And I transfer and I'm at that other place for 2 years and I signed to play for this head coach. And that head coach leaves, whether he's fired, just the head coach, whether he's fired, whether he moves on and take another job, whether he goes to the NFL or whatever. I feel like if the head coach is removed, you should be allowed to transfer. I do feel like that's a caveat.
Agreed.
And of course you have waivers as well. Hey, my mom's sick. I need to get back closer to home. I don't want to.
And there's always been that.
There's always been that. There's always been that. So I like some of what Calipari said because he's true. He's like, everybody talked about the one and dones being a problem. Don't go one and done. Then they fix that. Well, this is one and done, just in a different form.
I'm just saving my 5th year of eligibility for the future.
I can't wait. I'm just waiting for Hugh.
I'm on IR right now.
You're on IR right now?
I'm just waiting for Hugh Freeze to build Auburn into a monster, and then I'm going to be like the 3rd string long snapper and get a ring.
It's important.
It's my plan. It's my 5-year plan.
Let's go to, speaking of 5-year plans, let's go to Voltar with a $5 donation.
Voltar.
He said, couldn't call in to give my predictions for Tennessee.
Why not?
Every time I call in, the lines are busy. I'll try Friday, I guess. Hey, I got something better. Call in today.
Call in right now.
Put the number in the chat. Jake, hit him with the number real quick.
1-855-236-3228.
Boom, there it is. Let's go to Chase Mills with a $5 donation. Appreciate it, Chase.
Chasing that bread.
Since Elon is trying to silence your boy today, just want to say boomer sooner and keep up the good work, fellas.
Elon's trying to silence him?
What's going on? Kevin,
what did Elon do?
What's your cousin
Why
doing?
me?
What's your cousin doing?
Why? Is it something wrong with the X stream?
Huh?
Something wrong with the X stream?
No, nothing wrong with the...
They're trying to silence
Well, yeah,
Chase?
for some reason the chat's... something's wrong with the chat next stream. The stream's up, but the chat's not working. I don't know why.
What do you mean the chat's not?
It's been figured out. It's just we'll fix it tomorrow. Sorry about that.
Wait, there's a chat. Hold on, I'm confused. Like you can't comment on it?
No, the chat's limited, so I don't know why that is.
On X, it's limited.
Hold on, I'm going to text Elon.
No, it's on Twitter.
Yeah, it's on X.
I'll text Elon real quick.
Or Twitter.
All right,
Yeah.
let's go to figure it out. Just figure out what your cousin's doing, David. Let's go to Tyler Jarvis with a $10 donation. Appreciate it, Tyler.
T-Jar.
I'm a Canes fan living in Knowles Country. Real Owen Wilson situation. And for the first time, a hurricane has made direct landfall in this area. That means the Canes are winning it all, right? Hashtag trust the sun.
By the way, I don't think you knew that. I don't think you know this. I found this out yesterday. Okay, the more you know, star, rainbow, following it. Do you know that Miami, Ohio versus Miami of Florida, there's a name for it?
There's a name for the game?
Yeah, it's called the Confusion Bowl. True story.
I'm confused.
True story. Miami, Ohio versus Miami, Florida. I love that they scheduled this.
I do too.
Because it's not that I confuse the two a lot, but I think some people do. I think a lot of people think Ben Roethlisberger played for the Hurricanes, but it's called the Confusion Bowl.
Interesting. Kickoff 6 p.m.?
Yep.
Friday. That's a Friday
game. I think it's a 17-point spread. By the way, we're going to talk a ton of Florida, Utah tomorrow, Minnesota, Nebraska. We got Tom Luganbill coming on, so I don't think we're not going to talk about it. I do want your predictions. If you're calling in, if you want to go and get those in, because we don't have call-ins tomorrow. But that line went down to 4.5 today. But I'm telling you, I'm pounding Utah. Pounding Utah.
That's hot. All right, let's go to Jared. Let's go to Jared Hallett. Says, as a Colts fan, Bills winning the AFC East is more likely than the Colts winning. AR threw a fumble the other night.
He thrumbled?
He thrumbled.
Yeah, took a number 3?
He absolutely thrumbled.
Well, Vegas still has their over-under at 6.5.
Well, I saw on DraftKings it was 4.5. I think people are worried about Cam Rising, even though he came out and said yes. I saw on DraftKings.
We're talking about the Colts, though.
Oh, the Colts.
Yeah.
Utah.
Let's go to Texas Ed.
Anthony Richardson's old team.
Yeah.
Let's go to Texas Ed. Start bench cut, shovel face edition. Carson Beck. Kellen Moore. Eli Manning.
Starting Eli Manning, benching Kellen Moore, cutting Carson Beck because I haven't seen Carson yet. I got to see Carson like a full year. That is shovel face edition. 100%. Now I just think about that all the time every time I see somebody with shovel face. Blaine, can you describe what shovel face is so everybody knows?
What is it?
It's you ever seen The Hills
Long
Have
face?
Eyes? You ever seen The Hills Have Eyes?
What? Don't do that to them.
You asked me to describe what it is, and then I describe it and you get mad at me.
The
What do y'all
Hills
want
Have
from me?
Eyes?
Yeah. Right? Or that one
Just describe what it's like Picasso face?
now Picasso face seems nice to me. Picasso was a painter. Right?
Have you ever seen his paintings?
Yeah, I
though?
know, but it's an art. Shovel face is not an art. It's it's almost like you got a dash of downs in you.
Is this your
Right?
term?
It's Mrs. Dash.
Or did you
Watch
get this
yourself.
term from someone?
Yeah, easy,
Huh?
easy over
Did
there,
you?
bud.
Is this your term?
Yeah,
You made this term up.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it's shovel face.
With that mustache.
Long face, like long face. I'm
I
still
wouldn't let this
surprised.
kid near the school.
I'm still
Yeah,
surprised
no.
that they found people worried about Carson Beck's play. I'm just worried they can find a helmet that fits him. His head is huge. His face is long, guys. I'm not the only one saying this.
All right, let's go ahead and get to calls.
I can't wait for Georgia fans to call in today.
Yeah.
Please call in.
Let's go ahead and get to
All
calls.
right, first one up. Kirk in Canada. Kirk, what's up, man?
Kirk, what's up, buddy?
Hey, gentlemen.
What up?
Hey, that skyhook is going to probably be needed soon because old Trudeau, he's something else. I'll tell you right now.
Look, just
I got Morgan
let us
Freeman
know.
on speed
Yeah,
dial, dog.
we'll tell Morgan. Just go ahead and fire up the plane.
My question is about those Patriots holding one quarterback, 8 days before game one?
Yeah. Got to sign another one.
Have you ever seen that in your life?
No, got to sign another one.
Have you ever seen that?
No, but I think, again, it just goes back to my theory of I think Bill Belichick, realizes like the run's over, so now he's just going to do as much wild stuff as possible to see if he can get away with it. Just like I feel like he's just trying to like get to the point where when he sits down with all the older coaches after he retires and he's just like telling stories, he's like, did you see we finished third in the division with one quarterback on the roster? They said he's doing everything that everybody said you can't do.
Yeah.
He's like, we played with the long snapper as our backup quarterback in the NFL.
I can't wait to Mac Jones to walk into the team meeting and look down and turn around and Tom Brady sitting on the front row. That's what I can't wait for.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I got to tell you a quick story before I let you go. I had a conversation with this new guy that works at our where I work, and he's wearing this Flyers hat all the time. And I said to him, "You're not a Flyers fan, are you?" And he said, "Oh, diehard." And I'm like, "Oh, great! That's what I need. Another one of those guys."
That's exactly right.
Exactly what you need, Kirk.
I told him about 12 and a half. And he's like, "Yeah, Kirk, that's what we call around here free merch."
Yeah, that's exactly right. You'd never get one of those red 50s.
Yeah, we'll see, Kirk.
We'll see. Maybe the Flyers, they can put it together, but let's be realistic. They're not.
Hey, don't worry about us.
But we would love to send you,
right.
we'd love to skyhook you in some merch as well, Kirk. But we'll see with the Patriots, man. I think they're just trying everything now.
Thanks for calling, buddy.
Appreciate it, dog.
Thank you.
All right,
Stay
boys.
warm.
We got a Pongo alert here. Pongo.
Pongo, get lined up.
Steve in Ohio. Steve, what's up, man?
Hey.
What's up, Stevie?
What's up, Steve?
Okay, before I get to my trivia, I do have a betting question.
Go ahead.
All right. Over the weekend, on top of my shed, I saw these 3 turkey buzzards.
Mm-hmm.
And they all just opened their wings at the same time, all 3 of them.
Okay.
Trust in the signs.
It was like they were getting ready for the turkey buzzard version of a wet T-shirt contest.
Wow, my favorite.
I like
Love
that.
Thursdays.
Wow. I like. We call that a turducken.
Is that some sort of sign or something, or should I just let it
Virginia
go?
Tech.
No, that's what is Virginia Tech covering.
Man,
Is Virginia Tech
gonna
covering?
cover?
That's got it.
They got Old Dominion, who's just not good.
What's the look? Look, you got to go to the well one more time, and I'm talking Grant.
What's the spread on that?
I'm on it. Hold on.
Is this a Virginia Tech cover? This could be a true. What are their first 3 games? You said there was 3 of them.
3 of them.
3 of them.
Man, that means they may cover.
I think
Virginia
Like
Tech
they all did it
Hokies,
on
man.
cue.
is it 17?
Virginia Tech is minus 15.5 against Old Dominion, over under 49.5.
God, that means this smells like a 17-point cover.
That means there's 3 of them. That means they're going to be at least 3 points better than the spread. I would take Virginia Tech minus 15.5.
Then they got Purdue.
Wow.
Then they got Purdue. Then they got Rutgers.
Is it 3 straight covers?
Steve, I mean, that's the only
Let's see after the first game. I would take the first game.
Booster Club, hop on that.
They cover that. They cover the first one at minus 15.5. I think the second one against Purdue, this may be a first 3-game cover. Who's that 4th game?
The 4th game is you're at the Fighting Matthew McConaughey's.
At Texas?
You're playing Marshall on the road.
Oh, at Marshall. Why would? Oh, because of the movie?
Pick up the breadcrumbs.
Oh. I think Matthew McConaughey, Texas. All right, Steve, what's the trivia this week? We got it last time. I can't believe
Is it football this week, Steve?
No, it's not football.
All right, well, that was fun.
Come on, Stevie.
All right, yeah, we're going to see if we can go for 2 in a row.
All right.
I'm going to give you 3 players and 4 stats. 1 stat will apply to all 3 players. The other 3 stats will apply to 1 player each.
Okay.
All right, to win, all you need to do is identify the stat that applies to all 3 players.
Yep.
I can give you 1 clue if you need help, but it will cost you if you still get it wrong.
Okay.
All right,
We get to kick Blaine in the Achilles.
You guys know the clue works because it helped you last week.
Yep.
All right, but if you take the clue and still get it wrong, then Cone has to draft at least one Ohio State alumni in his fantasy league team.
Are you kidding? What do you think my whole fantasy football strategy is?
Yeah.
I'm trying to get Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave both.
Only quarterback.
I took Michael Thomas last year.
Yeah, only Ohio State quarterbacks.
I took J.K. Dobbins last year, too.
All right, the players are Max Scherzer from the Nationals, Jacob deGrom from the Mets, and Corey Kluber from the Indians.
Okay.
And all of these stats are from the 2018 season.
Yep.
All right, the stats are an ERA under 2.00.
That's so low.
At least 220 innings pitched, a whip under 1, and at least 20 wins. Now, who did what?
All right, not all three of them had ERA under 2.
No, it's not 20 wins, I don't think either. The whip under 1 is tough, but I feel like that's, 220 innings. DeGrom, I don't think it's some 220 innings of career.
Okay. So you think it's whip?
Man, I feel like it's whip.
2018.
I feel like it's whip.
So it was 20 wins and 200 innings? Those are the other two?
220 innings.
No, it's not it.
It's too specific.
It's not it. 20 wins, that's a lot of pitching. I don't think all three of them went on. I'd go, I think it has to be whip.
So there's no chance all three of them had an ERA under 2.
Nah, man, that's
low.
God, I don't think so because those guys are going to be throwing so many innings. There's so many innings.
I'd say the whip. I would say
it has to be the whip.
All right, let's do that.
All right, let's go whip, Steve.
All righty. The correct answer is a whip under 1.
Let's go! Let's go!
2 in a row, baby.
That's how we Steve, do it. Thanks, buddy. 2-0. We're going to try and go 3-0 for the trifecta against all odds. Never back down.
Hoorah.
Fight me in the parking lot.
Have a good weekend, man.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, we got Lindsay also in Ohio. Big Ohio day today.
Okay,
Lindsay, what's up?
What's up?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
What's good? How are you doing?
Good. You know, it's lonely down here in the chat, the only Ohio State fan around.
Are you the only one today? Steve just called. He's in there.
I know. Steve doesn't fight with like me. We don't throw fight. He doesn't throw fighting words.
Yeah, I'll fight with you. I just don't think
I'll fight with
fighting words in there.
Look, it's a Jon Snow situation.
Right. So I'm Mrs. Kevin in the chat, by the way, just so that is clear.
Nice.
Got you.
So I have a question. Okay, you guys, Jake, you've got us going, losing 3 games, right?
Yes.
Okay, and losing to Michigan again.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of us here felt like we lost to Michigan. All right, okay, fine. It's been 11 years. Give them their victory. It's in the snow. It's in the house, whatever.
Yeah.
That's fine. The next year, we're at our house, and we're all sitting here like, what is going on? Like, who's in charge here, sir? And so now this year, my question is, if we lose to Michigan again in the house, is Ryan Day in the hot seat? Is he done? Because what other coach do you know who's lost that many Michigan games in the last 20 years?
Yeah. Well, you know, Lindsay, it's a great question. I think, 2 years ago, when Michigan won that game, it was a little bit of gravity, right? You had a lot of things line up for Michigan to be able to finally get over that hump at home. I think last year, and I want to make sure and give Michigan credit, I think Ohio State's game plan defensively was awful. I thought them going in there and playing zero coverage was just nuts. I don't know what Jim Knowles was doing. You'd have thought Michael Knowles put that defense together with what they're doing. Because, Michigan wasn't a super explosive offense, and when you play zero coverage, you're opening the door to be able to get more explosive plays hit on you, and that's what happened. And in these rivalry games, like the Michigan, Ohio States, like the Iron Bowl, sometimes you never really know what's going to happen, right? So when you open the door for that, it causes more problems. Now, when you take a job at Ohio State or Michigan, are some of these big-time places where you have these humongous rivalry games, you are judged a lot of times, obviously there's a national championship standard, but how you do in that rivalry game is a huge part of your security at that place. For example, if Ohio State went 9-3 every year and beat Michigan every year, they're not firing Ryan Day. You're not going to fire him, I don't think, in my opinion. Just like at Auburn.
Yeah.
You go 9-3 at Auburn, you're beating Alabama every year, they're not going to fire you. Probably vice versa. But the first time you lose, all right, if you're not winning championships, which Ryan Day has not done at Ohio State, and then you start losing to Michigan, and all of a sudden it's 9-3 and 10-2, and 9-3 and 10-2, and losing to Michigan becomes a problem again, your seat can get hot very quickly. So I'll say this. If they go 9-3 and they lose to Michigan, I think Ryan Day will have a hotter seat. Is it a we'll fire you the next year unless you win a national championship hot? No, but I would not be surprised if that heat got turned up because you are at a place where you are judged mostly on how you do against your rival, and it can cover up a lot of wounds, and it can open up a lot of wounds that wouldn't open up at other places.
Well, Lindsay, I want to pose the question to you, since you're a Buckeyes fan. I mean, the Buckeyes were a play away from competing in the national championship last year. I would think they would be favored heavily against TCU to win the Natty, but like you said, you lost to Michigan at home. What if that happens again this year? 3 straight losses, but Ryan Day wins 11, maybe even 12 games and picks up a bowl win. How are you feeling about it?
At that point, I feel like I'd be pretty split. I guess it would depend on how bad the Michigan loss is and how bad the other losses are. Because if we're losing to Wisconsin, I think that's going to be a problem too. Yeah. Because, I don't know, I just don't see it. To me, it's like, all right, we've been clobbering everyone in the Big Ten except for Michigan for how many years now? So what's the hang up? Because I'm kind of like, all right. And a lot of people criticize Ryan Day for his coaching style and the way that he doesn't call plays and isn't so heavily involved with all the teams. So I don't know. I would think I would be less likely to be like pitchforks and torches, but at the same time, it's kind of like, it's the game, guys. We don't mess around with the game.
Well, you got your quarterback at least, Kyle McCord.
Yeah, we'll see.
So call in next week.
Lindsay, thanks so much. We appreciate you. Great call.
Yeah.
All right, Josh in North Carolina. Josh, what's up, man?
Josh, what's up? That's a great call by Lindsay.
Hey guys, it's Baltar here.
What's up, dog? Okay, got in.
Philosopher.
Yeah, I panicked. I shouldn't have panicked. I should have just kept calling.
Look, don't panic.
Hey, look, you panicked your way in here.
Sometimes you got to stick to the run game and trust the defense and special teams.
Yes, right. So I finally came up with my Tennessee predictions, and I can't believe these words are about to come out of my mouth. I believe in Joe Milton this year.
Oh,
now,
God.
I'm not saying he's going to be a Heisman player. Not saying that.
What's the record, Josh?
We're beating around the bush, Josh.
What's in the box?
All right. I got them going 11-1 and going.
Hang up the phone.
Hang up the phone. This is what makes it great.
Let's break it down.
All right, let's do this.
Where do you have them losing?
Let's do this dance. Who are they losing to?
So I got them losing to Alabama at home because I think Alabama is just going to be madder than hell that we beat them last year. Even though it was a field goal, they're going to be mad. So I got us losing there.
So they go on the road to Tuscaloosa.
Right, yes. Yeah. And I do believe we could beat Georgia in Neyland because we did it a few years ago back in 2018, and I think that's when they went to the playoffs or something like that. But, I mean, we've done it before, and it wasn't like 20 years ago like with Alabama. So I think we're going to beat them. I don't trust – I think Carson Beck's going to be fine. I don't know. It's a whole, I don't know situation, but I do believe they'll probably also go 11-1.
Yeah, you know what I find interesting about Tennessee? Like, the more I look at Tennessee, the more parallels I see a little bit with Auburn, right? Now, I'm not talking about the colors, but Bama's a rivalry of y'all's, and Georgia's a rival of y'all's. So y'all play Bama and Georgia every year. Y'all haven't. Now, I know it's changing with the way that, not that Tennessee's not going to play Bama and Georgia, but I know it's changing without divisions. But y'all also have been in the East with Florida, so y'all play Florida every year. So Florida's kind of like y'all's LSU. So in actuality, not that Georgia's obviously at their peak right now, but there are a lot of parallels with y'all's schedules always sucks, like Auburn's does. It's like getting jumped by a group of ninjas. Just
It really
sucks.
is. I agree.
And that game at Florida
yeah.
week 3, man.
I think the over-under on the year is 9.5 wins.
I got them going 9-3. I got Tennessee losing at Bama. I got them losing to Georgia. And I've got them losing, I think, at Kentucky.
I have that too as well. I got them going 8-4.
So the only thing I don't trust about Kentucky, and the reason why I can confidently say we'll win that game, is because I've watched Devin Leary every year play at State, and he is the definition of mid. I don't trust him.
He's got to live up to the hype. He's got to stay healthy.
So you trust Joe Milton more than you trust Devin Leary?
By a smidgen, yes. Or a little bit more than a smidgen. But yeah.
We're going to see.
All right.
Pigeon.
We're going to see.
I can't keep a job.
And one more thing.
Go ahead.
Playoff picture. I did have, I don't know if this ever happened, but I did have 3 SEC schools in my playoff picture, but I don't think that's going to happen. So I changed it a little bit. I have Michigan as the 1 seed, Tennessee as the 2 seed, beating LSU in the SEC championship. I know that sounds crazy, but we gave LSU their lunch money last year, and I don't know. I think we could do it again. But anyways, Tennessee 2, and then 3 seed I got Georgia, and then 4 seed I'm gonna sub out LSU, and I'm gonna go 4 seed the Nittany Lions, Penn State.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
But right, and so because I think Penn State's going to go 11-1, but they're not going to make the Big Ten championship game. I think they'll get in.
Definitely.
So I think Michigan's going to beat Penn State, and I think Georgia's going to get their revenge, just like how Georgia got their revenge on Alabama, and beat them in this will be a playoff game, not a championship game. But I got Michigan and Georgia playing in the championship, and then I got Michigan winning by a field goal against
and everybody's on it, including myself.
Ohio State. They're going to do what Ohio State couldn't do last year and actually kick a good field goal. So,
God, Cunn's going to be insufferable on here.
Completely ruined it.
And remember, the greatest kicker in Michigan history, Moody, is gone now.
Yeah, didn't y'all get some other kid, though, who's like... Didn't y'all get like a transfer portal kicker who's like never missed in his whole life?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
That's his name.
Hopefully. That's
Haru?
his name.
His name's
never
Hopefully.
missed and won't do it this year either.
His name's Hopefully.
All right. Thanks, Josh.
Thanks, Josh.
Josh.
I don't get you.
Andy in Alabama. Andy, what's going on?
What's up, bud?
Hey, Jake.
What's up? Dad? No, just kidding. What's up, man?
Not a whole lot, man. I want to talk about Auburn football for a minute.
Let's do it.
I'm very confident in the offense with our receivers and Peyton Thorne. I think Peyton will have a big year. But my only concern is the defense. I feel like we're not getting enough pressure up front. And I have a very big concern on our run defense.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're going to have to blitz linebackers for pass protection, but all that's going to do is take away coverage from that linebacker.
Yeah. So manufacturing pressure. Yeah, like we talked about earlier with Navy. I'll say this, and we'll see the product that comes out in the field, but I've continued to say, because on the flip side, I think Hugh Freeze, one of the best jobs he's done on this roster is flip the offensive line. It's made the offensive line better, giving Auburn a chance to compete up there. But defensively, the pass rush is the biggest question. Run defense-wise, I'm going to have to wait and see just because I haven't seen it yet. But I do worry about the pass rush because if you don't have a pass rush, you can't get off the field on third down, and you got to try and manufacture pressure to get off the field on third down. And when you do that, that's how you give up 3rd and 14s and 3rd and 18s, and you give up home runs and explosive plays. I do think Ron Roberts is one of the best at a chaotic style of defense where you're able to kind of find ways to manufacture pressure but take care of yourself. Look, it's going to come down to whether Elijah McAllister, whether the McLeod kid, whether the young Falk kid, whether Marcus Harris, who's a guy thinking slide inside and out, they've got a couple others, whether they're going to be able to get there with 4 or even 5-man pressures. If Auburn can do that, that's how they get into the 8-4, possibly at best 9-3, in my opinion, Andy. But I think you're 100% correct because I'm not worried about Auburn's DBs. when you see what they bring back with Nehemiah and Jalen and all these guys. I'm not worried. That's the best part of their defense. Even linebacker, bring in the Nixon kid over. Bring in the guys in the transfer portal. What they have returning, especially if Wesley Steiner can start to see it and be able to react and not sit there and get caught with his feet in the mud, then this defense has a chance to be pretty good. But it's going to come down that pass rush, Andy. I think you're spot on, and it's one of the things we're not going to know till we know. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. My main concern, like you said, I don't have any problems with a secondary. I think they're going to be the stronghold of the defense.
DJ James, guys like that. I mean, they can play. They're NFL players.
Lee.
For sure.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
I think the secondary and linebackers are good. My only concern is when we get up against Georgia, when we get up against some of these other teams, we're going to have to blitz our linebackers. And
they know that. And they know that.
Yeah.
I'd rather do that than die by 1,000 cuts, buddy. I'd rather go for the kill shot than just sit there.
I think, I think you got to blend it at some point. Like, I mean, you've got, whether that's pitching backwards, whether that's bringing pressure on early downs. The problem you get into is if you can't rush the passer, then you most likely can't stop the run. And if you can't stop the run, then you have to run stunt. When you run stunt, it's just like blitzing. You open yourself up to getting caught. We saw Navy against Notre Dame stem to a bear look where they had 2 guys in a 3 and 1 guy in a 0, and they stemmed late, got caught, 88 and out the gate, and it clouds it up for the linebackers. So, Andy, it's a great question. Yeah. We're not going to know until we know, man. Call in Friday, call in next week. Let us know what you think after watching them play UMass.
Appreciate it, Andy.
Hey, I sure will. I'm the guy that talks to you on Instagram and everything.
I thought that was you. I thought that was you, man. We appreciate it, bro. Call in more.
Thanks, man.
I will, definitely.
All right, let's go to Chad in Oklahoma. Chad, what's up?
Chad, what's up?
Fellas.
What's up?
Good morning.
Good morning, Chad. Hello.
Morning, Chad.
I have to say, I am a fan of the show. I reference it to friends and family far and wide across the great United States. And one thing that I've had calls on calls, and they go, Chad, this is the best show you said in the morning, sports show. And then every one of them, without hesitation, called and said, well, I can't watch anymore because all 3 of them picked Texas to win the Big 12. Even had USC in the playoff.
No, not me.
Not me.
No. I did. I got 11 games. Chad,
Pugsley, that was Pugsley.
All I've done is compliment Brent Venables. I got Oklahoma going 10-2, right? All I've done is throw.
I think I made 2. Hold on.
Chad, I got him going 11-1, bud. 11-1.
Like, I mean, it's.
No, I have Oklahoma 9-3.
I got him 10-2. What else does your family want?
Well, boy, you were close to seeing the light. You were right there. All you had to do was just have that little bit of faith. And yet you fumbled the ball.
Well,
just like
not me. I don't fumble.
Fumbles any chance to ever win a Big 12 championship. Look. Except for history repeating itself. When people show you who they are, believe them.
Well, last year they showed me a losing record last year.
Who?
Oklahoma. Wouldn't 9-3? Wouldn't 9-3 be a great step up? Right? I mean,
here's what.
It would be if we were Texas. But we're not. It would be a great. And this isn't even. I don't want to take up too much time, so I'm just going to go straight to USC. Guys, there are signs that college football is back. You see the ads on Twitter. You see the commercials on TV, and then you see Alex Grinch get off the bus without his defense. I saw this for 6 straight years at Oklahoma.
I've been saying it, Chad. We're on the same team here.
Lincoln Riley's brisket has more juice than an Alex Grinch defense.
That's it. That thing is drier than the desert.
It is about as dry as it's there.
Yeah.
It is pathetic. And let's use our eyes. I get, let's not try to outthink what reality is.
Hey, I got him. I got USC going 9-3, Chad. I got him going 9-3. Cone is on the same train with me. It's this guy over here.
They won 11 games last year, and their defense were basically
they didn't play Oregon or Washington.
Okay, that's fine, but their defense obviously got a little better.
And Notre Dame,
they're going to start.
They got a little better.
They're going to start 6-0.
Yeah, they're going to
just get ready for that.
They won 11
they'll start 6-0, and then it's going down.
Chad, here's my question though. Bedlam. Oklahoma State, they want to beat y'all worse than they've ever wanted to win that game ever. Is Oklahoma going to win Bedlam this year?
Oklahoma State wants to beat us worse than they want to beat everyone every single year they've been in existence, and they all pledged to
more than this year?
I'm not worried about Oklahoma State. You know what? By the way, you know what USC needs to do? They need to take 2-3-1, 3-2-1, 3-2-1 code word crane and start dishing out double to the defense. And that way, maybe they can get something going. Because I don't know what else you guys need to see to figure out that they don't have a shot.
Well, I'd worry about playing Texas is like playing against your dad in the driveway. All right, they beat y'all by 40. All right, don't worry about USC. Don't worry about USC. You got big brothered by Texas.
Okay, listen. First off, none of us knew that Davis Bell had the arm talent of Sister Jean in a wheelchair. I didn't understand that was going to happen whenever he got out there. Okay, none of us knew that. Dylan Gabriel.
That was a cheap shot.
We lost 2 games. We lost 2 games last year by more than a touchdown. Both those games, Gabriel got hurt. Yep. Now, one thing you love about me when I call in, I'm arguably the most objective sports fan in the world.
Without a doubt. 100%.
All I'm doing is telling truth and reality, and that's why I called in, to bring a little truth and reality to the show. Having said that, OU goes 12-0, makes the playoff, and Dylan Gabriel wins.
Look, I love Brent Venables.
Chad, you have to call in every week.
That's exactly right. And tell your family and friends, look, you don't want somebody place that just agrees with you all the time. I mean, this isn't.
Until they'll tune in tomorrow.
11-1, Chad.
They'll tune in tomorrow.
They're not going to miss the show.
I'm changing my Oklahoma.
Oh, Chad.
I'll let you go. Last thing I'll say is this. If OU doesn't go 12-0, you won't hear a peep out of me. I don't like this stuff where you call in and admit your mistakes. That's just not that's not fun. You know, who likes to admit mistakes?
Chad, I'm going to call you. If they don't go 12-0, I'm going to call you every day.
Yeah, I'm going to call you.
We're going to call you every day, Chad.
Yeah. Chad's going to wake up with a call from us. We're going to call-ins for Chad starting at 7 o'clock. But no, we appreciate it, brother. Man. Thanks for spreading the word.
All right, so Alex, Coy, Angela, all y'all call in on Friday. Use Pongo. We'll get in.
Say Pongo. All right. It's time. Our Booster Club bets are brought to you today by DraftKings.
Hey.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Shut up! Start over. Let me start over.
That makes you start over.
Our Booster Club bets are brought to you today by DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code BOOSTER, BOOSTER, because new customers can score $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet just $5. That's Cinco in Spanish. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code BOOSTER, BOOSTER. The crown is yours. Yep. Here's what we got today. Yesterday went 1-1. Astros plus 100 hit. Thank you. I'm going Twins at home. Sunny. Sky's always gray, but the pitches aren't. Minus 1.5, plus 125. Then the Rockies. Because apparently, like, the Braves are throwing Darius Rucker, somebody on the mound today. I've never heard of who they're throwing. Give me the Rockies plus 1.5 on the run line because it's at plus 140. And you would just think at some point the Rockies would either win one of these games or lose by 1. For the love of everything.
It's a trap!
For the love of everything. David, what you got?
All right.
What Greek tennis player are you taking
I'm
today?
going back to the U.S. Open again. My Zverev pick left over from Monday did hit.
It's worth.
Berrettini hit yesterday. Diego Schwartzman somehow forgot how to play tennis. Lost a straight set. So can't trust him anymore. But Casper Ruud, Tommy Paul, and Stefano Tsitsipas, I want in a 3-leg parlay today.
Call me?
Minus 128. You heard what I said, mustache. And then Dominic Thiem, plus 110 and the plus money there. Look, I know he's a clay court player, but let's figure it out
when you texted me this today, I thought you meant to say Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd?
Nah. Is this some celebrity?
Nah, but that is cool. Let's take the Paul Rudd parlay today.
You're a big Berrettini guy. All right, give me the Nats, Blue Jays, Nerfy, plus 100, and give me the 2023 World Series champions, Braves, minus 1.5, going off at minus 160. Congrats to those guys, by the way.
I'm drowning you in a puddle. Baby Cone, he's going to take the Orioles, White Sox, Nerfy, minus 110. Then he's going to take the Mariners and the Rangers parlay together, money line at plus 160.
He knows what's up, man.
Booster Club.
Let's get to George, also known as Jorge. With a $10 donation, he says, love the show, guys. Love you, George.
Love you, George.
I know you guys all played in college. I just started my senior season. Water polo.
Ooh.
Congrats.
What's one thing I should still do before I graduate?
Man, water polo. They're the
high
most
school,
in shape, man.
I would say this. The one thing I would do in high school, I don't know if I can say this.
I think it's
Is he saying college?
I feel like it's college. I don't know how many
college?
water polo high school teams there are out there.
I mean, if there's a college team, there's probably a high school team. Just saying.
Let's say college. It feels like college.
I would say the last thing that you would do, go get a...
What?
Go get a...
Wait, what?
Careful.
Go get a Grimace shake. I don't know.
Dog.
I need to know where you're at so I can tell you something to do, George. I don't know, dog.
I don't know.
Just enjoy every day of your senior year. Right? That's what I would do.
I love it, man.
Enjoy every day.
I love it.
Go get a Grimace shake. Blaine's advice.
You don't even know what that is, probably. Let's go to Tim Salinas. He said, Chad doesn't remember OU with Gibbs.
Here we go, Chad and Tim.
Schnellenberger and John Blake at the helm. They were hot garbage, and they hit gold with Bob
Chad
you know what we need to call it? We need to have a face-off call-in day. I don't know if it's possible, where we have people call in and just go against each other. I just like to just sit back and watch that.
Woodcrest says Texas is going to pound OU with the run game. Oklahoma's defense is undersized and sucks. I added and sucks at the end.
Okay. That's funny.
All right, let's get to the poll. Who wore it better? Pugsley or me?
You. You, 80%.
All right!
Give me what percentage did you say?
Blaine, 80%.
I'm going to say Blaine, 79%.
Blaine, 58%.
Oh, wow.
Pugsley, 42.
By the way, that new Wednesday show's not bad.
They had us in the first half, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, for sure. All right, make sure you subscribe. Appreciate everybody calling in today. We're almost to 100,000 on YouTube. Make sure you go to Daily Wire Plus, sign up. If you're watching us on Twitter or X or whatever, make sure you're following us on all social at Crane Company. We really appreciate it. Got a great show for you tomorrow. We got football for 5 straight days.
High five.
Right there. I'm excited. I'm very excited. We're going to be dropping our bets tomorrow. We got some great new segments, too, we're excited about. So, like I said, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're following us everywhere. Not like in real life, though. Don't follow us around like Publix and stuff. But we appreciate you guys.
Don't follow us around at Publix.
Well, you can catch Blaine.
Yeah, it's like the chances of Blaine running the Boston Marathon right now. We're going. Gone.